Cool. So this is what the truck looks like without the core support and the grill. Took all that out last night. There's some bolts that hold the inner part of the grill here and there, and then this is for the firewall. You've got some holes that are here that you have bolts that pop up from the bottom. This actually bolts into your core support underneath the radiator. I left all this in place. What I'm going to do is try to take it all out as one assembly. Just try to leave it all intact so I'm not separating the transmission from the engine or even the radiator for that case. I think I can get it all in one shot. I've done it before on other trucks. I don't see why it'd be a problem on this one. The owner of the truck says that this engine's pretty heavy. I can't imagine it'd be heavier than the V8, but we'll see. Kind of get everything undone here. Next, I'm going to work on the motor mounts. Take those off. As you can see, this is kind of this motor mount sticks in quite a bit, so we got to take those off and completely and convert them to V8 motor mounts, which is all in the kit. And the cross member for the transmission, that's like right there. You can see it's a little bit dark. Those all have to come out, and there's a cross member that came from Performance Online. It was a kit, came with the transmission cross member and the motor mounts to convert it from a straight 6 to a V8, and some sliders that are coming as well, and get this Vortec to fit. So I know there's a lot of people that do it differently. Everybody will do something a little bit different. What I did is I just undid all the bolts that hold the inner fender. Essentially, you would get them out from this side. They're all along the inner part here. Took those bolts out. There's some that hook up from here straight up into this panel, like right along this edge right here, and a bunch that go along this edge. Took all those out, and then I took the hinge off. There's 3 bolts. There's one there, and then there's there and there. Took those off. And also these 2 bolts. Now this cowl was already off. I didn't have to take that off, but took those 2 bolts off, and basically I was able to move this fender out this way a little bit to get the firewall, excuse me, not the firewall, the core support, to get it out, because that core support goes quite a ways. Let's see if I can get that. It goes clear into here, and in order to get that out without tearing the whole front end off, you just gotta undo one of your fenders. Now I just strapped up one of these straps and hooked it into here up to the I've got kind of a bracket up there, and just held the hood in place. And really, after you do that, it's not really it's not too heavy. Just kind of set it in place, and you take off this hood hinge and just drop it here on the fender well. As long as you've got it supported, it's not going to scratch or dent anything, and it's certainly not that heavy to dent it. Open up this fender up just enough to clear your core support, and it all will just come out. One thing I did do is right along like this area here, the core support is attached to the grill, and I did separate it there, the 2 halves, because it just didn't seem like it was going to come apart unless I took the bumper off. And I'd rather just leave the bumper on there. If there's no need to take it off, the less I take off is really I don't have to put more back on there, so it just makes it a little bit easier. So I'll get this going and get you guys caught up on the next couple steps I take here. See you guys.